I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have a bit of. Oh, was that a triple stun for the Mystic?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. And welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack. I don't think we really have any sort of announcements today. Yellow's tournament was yesterday. It was fun. It was a great time. Yellow's team ended up winning because the whole thing was rigged. But yeah, it was a good time. If you're interested in tournaments upcoming in the future, we're going to be doing this like rotation thing where we try to have a tournament every month. And by we, I mean myself, Frosty, Nayashe, and Yellow. So this month was Yellow doing the 3v3 tournament. I think next month it's me and you, Frosty, doing 2v2, right?
That's the plan, yeah.
And then the month after is Nayashe doing the 1v1. So if you're interested in doing like tournament PvP, then make sure to join the number one Discord to join is the NA Duelist Discord, because Yellow posts everything like tournament PvP like related there. But you can also join the Value Pack Discord if you're not already in there. We're going to be posting stuff about there for our thing. And if you're interested in the 1v1 tournament, you can join Nayashe's stream Discord, because I'm sure he'll be posting things about that in there whenever his month comes around. So, all right, now that the that stuff is out of the way, our guest today, he is a very well-known member in the community, been playing for a long time, comes and goes as he pleases, and apparently now is a Lifeskiller, dirty Lifeskiller. It's DeadGG. Welcome to the podcast, my guy.
Why, hello.
So, okay, first thing I gotta know, you came in here and you started talking about Lifeskilling, and I was like, this is not the DeadGG that I know. So what the hell is up with that? You're not killing people. You're killing trees. You're killing our environment, dude. You're killing our Mother Earth.
Coming out of retirement, DeadGG, you know? I'm just nice and comfy.
Are you changing your name?
Get wrapped around me.
To Live GG? Or something a little bit more, kind-hearted?
Nah, we still bring in PvP to Lifeskilling. They're too polite when I come back. We're changing it up.
PvP and up on Goat Mountain, dude.
The thing you're gonna find is people are grief way more when you live skill than when you don't. There's that mutually assured destruction out when you're grinding. When you're at the sheep spot, they know you have life skill clothes on, dude. They don't give a fuck.
It's alright.
Silent chat here says, no, he's now dead inside GG.
Dead inside GG.
Alright, so what's kind of your background in BDO? Like originally, the go way back when you first started playing BDO, how long you've been playing, why did you start playing, what kept you around, and did you start with Lahn, or what was your first class? Give your backstory.
I started like a month after Steam release, so I'm a Steamy from the start. Basically started off as Mewa. Mewa was my first 11 BDO. Shout out to Nayashe.
Hell yeah.
And I like him, I also think Mewas need buffs, of course.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
We got two of them on the show now. What have we done?
Basically spent my entire first portion of my BDO career out on Pirate Island, and I never left Pirate Island, and they need to bring it back.
Which they are, actually.
Yeah,
but it looks pretty shit.
It does.
But after,
you just gotta make it work, man.
Once Lahn came out, or was coming out, I sold all my Mewa stuff, and I've been a Lahn ever since. Mostly grinding PvP and clipping roses, but now we're just a dirty Lifeskiller.
Dirty Lifeskiller, dude. So, what's kind of your thoughts on Lahn right now. We were me and I was casting Yellow's tournament yesterday, 3v3 tournament with Blue. And we were both kind of surprised that there wasn't a single Lahn in the tournament. Is Lahn just like that bad right now, or what's up with that?
No, I mean there aren't too many people that thought Lahn were good before. Like for the longest time, everyone would always say Lahn is shit. Why are you playing Lahn? Play a better class, etc. But we always played it because it was fun. I think right now all the flavor of the month players that swapped over when Succession was OP, they've already sold their shit and are now probably playing like a Guardian or something.
Right. So you think it's just back down to a low pop class, basically?
I like that they're playing Guardian now. They're like they decided to like wait. This is too hard. Let's slow it down. We're gonna play Guardian.
Guardians, by the way, there were quite a few in the tournament yesterday, and they did pretty damn well for themselves. So I don't think anybody was too surprised about that. The Succession Wizard also came out in force yesterday, which is another, I think, kind of flair of the month class right now, but less so than Guardian, I think. But yeah, it was interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. I know this is off topic, but it's going to be interesting to see what kind of like metas form now that all the Successions are out in like trial character AOA tournaments. I'm going to be very interested to see what kind of happens,
Yeah.
It's been super fun coming back to the game and basically having to relearn all the fights because every class is like a new class now. So it's been great.
All right. So, in your thoughts, have the Succession? First of all, are you using Succession or are you using Awakening? What are you doing?
Currently, I am Succession. However, I think Awaken's probably going to be the way to go with Lahns in the future. At least in current iterations.
Why?
Well, it just depends what you want to do for it, right? If you're planning to do like mid to large scale fights, I think Succession's still really good. But anything 1v1 related, and with the upcoming bus to PvE on Global Labs, it should hopefully put Lahn more in line with PvE grinding, so that way people don't have to swap back and forth.
Okay, interesting. So, the Succession is a bit more of a large scale thing, while the Awakening is a bit more of a 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, Succession still works for smaller scale, but they did remove a lot of the damage and protection from it, so it's
okay. Also, don't forget
you can't beat the grab in 1v1.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't forget your 5 mile long grab.
Yeah.
That also has the width of an 18-wheeler. So,
it's the vacuum grab. That's all one ability
dude,
that has the same
crazy.
range as Meteor for some reason. Which one to you personally, like set balance aside, like if you could get the same silver and trash on both specs, and let's just say, I don't know, which one is just more fun to you outright, like not counting balance, Succession or Awakening?
See, I'm kind of torn because there's lots of cool things with Succession, right? Blooming Nether Flowers, super cool. The new flight with Succession, super cool. But, how can you say no to the glaze?
Just
right.
Dude, the weapons do look cool as fuck. Although I love how the bell looks. Or the little pendulum. But, yeah.
Yeah, Frosty was actually a Lahn for like half a second. So, he does have some knowledge on that class.
Does he play Guardian now? Is that what happened?
Eventually, dude.
I was like,
we'll get there eventually.
What are these nerfs, dude? I'm going Guardian. Fuck this. Slowed it down. Now I just have to use 1 or 2 skills and Maewas die. It's pretty great.
Now, believe it or not, Frosty played Lahn
Fairly
before.
true.
It was cool. Although you did play when Succession first came out, but I think you had a similar feeling on Lahn as you did on Ninja, where you like, it just feels bad. It feels like I'm beating children. Like
No. It wasn't even that. It was my Kuno heartstrings, dude. They were getting tugged on. I couldn't stay long
okay.
forever. Yeah.
It was just ninja. You felt like you were beating children.
Yeah, the ninja thing before the nerfs felt like you actually felt bad beating people because it was like, wait a minute, I know this guy has similar gear to me. Why is Behead Blade Spin killing him? And nothing else. Yeah, it was weird. When Lahn Succession first came out, it was odd because the damage didn't feel that good. And then they buffed the damage and it was like way too much. And now they nerfed the damage. And I don't know if it's somewhere in the middle now or not, but I don't know. Does the damage feel bad to you in PvP after the nerfs, DeadGG, in Succession?
I think it highly depends on your gear, right? If you're extremely geared, like it's still gonna feel good, but for like newer players that are gearing back up, it doesn't feel too great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be doing a tier list here relatively soon. Where do you think, separate Succession and Awakening? Where do you kind of feel that Awakening Lahn and Succession Lahn overall is when compared to other classes? If you take into account 1v1s, large scale, and PvE, where do you kind of think they are? You think they're kind of okay in the middle? They're on the strong side, weak side? What are your overall thoughts?
I'd say it would depend like what specifically you're talking about. But if you're looking at like overall, I'd say they're close to the middle.
Okay, so just pretty well balanced.
Yeah, like you can, if you swap it to 1v1s, and they're obviously very strong, especially with Awakening. And for PvE, like Succession is still towards the top for sure.
When you're playing on Awaken and you're comfortable and you have all your gear, what was your worst matchup? What was your best matchup? Like if you saw a class, you knew for sure you're gonna beat this class, or the opposite, you're like, wait, this dude's probably gonna fuck me up.
I didn't have any really bad matchups per se, but my hardest matchups were either Sorks or Ninjas, just because they could animation cancel during some of our slower abilities and punish a lot. Mm-hmm. So it honestly just came down to the player.
Sorkin.
A lot of the time.
I'm writing this down. This is weird because most other classes do just fine against those two.
Sorkin.
Yeah, it's not that it was like, it became more of a 50-50. It just honestly depended on the player.
So which one was literally a free win? What class? If you went up to him, you're like, okay, this poor guy has no chance.
Oh, Witch Wizard. It could play one-handed, drinking a beer in the other hand, and they'd still die.
Oh. What if they resisted, dude? Right as they were using Voltaic, they resist your grab, then what happens?
And then you Primrose out, and you just dance around them until grabs back up.
Hey.
So let's get to the controversial question. If you had free reign on the class and you could make any changes you wanted to make, what would you like to see done to it, if anything?
What would I like to see done?
Yeah, within reason. Don't just say some meme answer to make it overpowered. What are some changes you would like to see that you think would be good for the class?
Just a little bit quicker, like pre-awaken animations in Awakening, or like for Awaken Lahn. A lot of our protections, so like a lot of the way that Lahn stay safe is like stalling with protections in pre-awaken, but they're pretty telegraphed, and if the opponent is like a ninja or Sork or something and they know what they're looking for, they can punish it.
Right.
Okay. All right, so for some people who may not know, you were a very strong PvPer for a very long time, and you kind of took a break from the game, quit, whatever you want to call it, and now you're coming back. So what's kind of that about? Why'd you quit? Why are you coming back? And how's it been coming back? We know you mentioned earlier that it's fun, like relearning matchups, because there's a lot of like different things with Succession and whatnot.
Yeah, So before I'd been playing the game for a couple years at the point when I quit, I felt I had accomplished, every goal that I set out to do.
You
We
beat
hit
the game.
63, we grinded the map, we grinded the compass.
You did maps?
We were full pen. We did do maps, yes. In fact, we did. It was a reusable map that you could use twice. And
Oh, even better.
yeah. And, basically it was full pen, couple pen accessories, like Kafra's C9 to 12, etc. And, I felt I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in the game. And at the time, PvP was pretty stale. No one PvPing on Arsha, no one PvPing on non-Arsha. Fights for Node Wars and Sieges weren't very exciting at the time. So
you
Arcade
realize the no PvP on Arsha thing was because there was this unkillable Lahn that would one-shot you that was always on Arsha, so...
Yeah, but they usually, come in groups of like 4 or 5 sometimes.
Now you get it. Now you just gotta go fight Choice, man. Just go find Choice and just fight him all day.
Soon enough.
So what was your gear before you quit? What was your AP DP? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly, but it was Pen Ruins, Pen Sissels, and then all armor weapons penned with C9 or 12. So whatever that ends up being is like 302 AP or something like that. Like some around 350 DP, somewhere around there.
So what are your thoughts on? I know at some point when you were playing Lahn, you made a full switch to evasion. What are your thoughts on the evasion versus DR debate? And yeah, like kind of which one's better and what should be changed or not changed, or do you think it's fine as is?
It depends on class to class, right? So a lot of classes had extremely strong buffs for it, like Ninja Kuno, especially with Smokescreen, etc. But it seems they've been making a lot of changes to kind of minimize that a little bit, while also buffing accuracy items and whatnot. But now with the 100% accuracy skills removed, I don't see why anyone would not be evasion, to be honest.
Well, removed in air quotes.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I was testing with
Change.
I was testing with a friend. He uses Shards of Darkness, which is they got on Sork changed from 100% to, or sorry, Shard Explosion from 100% accuracy to 50, but it only has one hit. And I'm an evasion build. I'm 360 DP, and like that skill literally never doesn't do its full damage. So even though it's changed to 50, even with the high evasion build, it's like I don't think it can miss as long as you have some like relatively high gear accuracy on your character. If that makes sense. So I don't think that like blooming still hits like a truck. Are you like I don't think people with blooming on missed or Mayo is feeling like they're missing that much. But
no, not really. They have to be extreme evasion for us to actually feel the misses.
It's interesting too because a lot of people are staying DR specifically. Like nowadays, it's like kind of coming into the meta specifically to wear like Beg's gloves and do an accuracy focused build.
Yeah, it's more like a highest output kind of thing. They're forced to go DR because of the Begs.
What's the direction you're going on your new Lahn?
Manos.
Oh. that's the most amount of evasion you can get is avoiding players altogether.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
But no, I will most likely be going evasion. However, with like the Dead God armor and stuff like that coming out, it'll kind of depend on how that changes the meta and how quickly they're planning on adding more pieces.
All right. So what is your Manos gear at now?
I mean, I've got 4 Tet tools, Tet clothes, and we're gonna start grabbing accessories soon. So
Oh my god. What's your
So are
map
you gonna get full pin Manos and then quit the game again?
for Arcade?
I mean,
Unchained?
it's not planned, but if Arcade Unchained Remastered comes out,
No,
then maybe.
Arcade Unleashed, dude. Arcade Unleashed.
Yeah, it's gonna be unleashed, and they're going to triple the amount of dailies you have to do, and it's gonna be even more fun.
Nice.
Oh my god! Please don't.
You're gonna triple the amount of dailies and reduce the amount of labor.
So I was kind of
What
curious.
I'm interested in is that one game that we were talking about the other day, Frosty. What was that called again?
Elion.
Elion?
That game looks fun, dude.
Yeah.
So DeadGG, I'm kind of curious from your point of view, since you just started from scratch. How long has it been since you started up again? Like a month?
Like 5 weeks.
5
About.
weeks. Okay. How hard is it for a player? I mean, obviously you knew kind of what to do and where you're going exactly from like day one, so you kind of know the ins and outs, and you don't have to learn anything. But how easy does it feel this time around, like gearing up compared to the first time? Like, how is it for new players, basically?
So for me, it was extremely easy, right? Because I had a lot of the knowledge already. I still think the game could do a lot better job of like explaining things to new players. However, like with the new questing system, it definitely improved from how they were before. But as long as new players like use YouTube or streams, etc., as a resource and aren't afraid to ask questions, like that, like all the information's there for them, and it's so easy to catch up nowadays. At least, to like full tet armor and weapons and accessories and stuff like that. It's a lot of catch up mechanics with free tri-boss gear, and
I remember hearing like, "Oh,
stuff.
DeadGG's back," and I saw you had like 100 AP or something. Like you were super low, grinding a low level area, and then like 2 days later, I come back and you're like 240 with Kunum grinding Akhman. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's as long as you have the knowledge of like kind of what to do, it's pretty easy nowadays.
Yeah, I brought up to Rezlar and Nayashe a while back that I actually think, as weird as it sounds, I almost think it would be a good thing to keep the Oasis gear kind of permanently, because
Yeah,
I just think
I agree. I think it's a good way to let newer players try out a bunch of different classes. It's like all the time I get in my stream and through my Discord DMs, people asking like, basically trying to get my opinion or, some idea of what other classes do, so they can really figure out what the hell to pick and play for a long, long time. And ultimately, the answer I always give them is pick something you find enjoyable and fun to play. But it's understandable to consider the fact that people don't really truly know how the class plays until they actually have some gear on the damn thing. And certain abilities look fun, but then they turn out to be garbage in the long run. And the Oasis gear actually helps out, giving an option to kind of get a taste a little bit. Obviously, not a true representation, but an idea of what some of these abilities can do. So it allows them to really figure out the class and figure out if they like it and enjoy it and want to stick with it. I think the Oasis gear is a good thing.
So DeadGG, what do you? I mean, do you think it would be a good thing or a bad thing overall for the game if they did keep the Oasis gear, or at least like the weapons and the Ramones, but maybe remove the other stuff that's in there?
I mean, I think it's a great way to help close the gap a little bit, right? There's obviously going to be a huge disparity from someone starting out fresh and someone that's been around for years and, can now make, 150, 180 mil an hour. And you get these new players coming in and visiting streams, and they're like, well, I'm only making, 8 mil an hour or 20 mil an hour, whatever the case may be. And that can be discouraging a lot for them and turn them away. So giving them like kind of like a stepping stone to close the gap a little bit, I think it's great for the game's like long-term health for sure.
See, Rezlar, you're just an asshole.
Dude, I'm just I'm just an angry boomer, dude. I'm like, no, they have to struggle like I did.
Yeah, grind Sausins for
Well-
400 hours to get to 140 AP, you bitches.
Yeah. Dude, if you don't
Jesus.
GVG at Catfish and lose all of your EXP in the process, are you even like playing this game? I just don't understand.
Honestly, I don't wish the Gahaz grind on anybody or the poly grind on anybody.
I loved the Gahaz grind, and you haven't lived until you're at Sausins because you need a Grinnell drop to repair your armor. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, those days I do not appreciate that.
Dude, you haven't lived until a GVG starts in the fucking catacombs in goddamn what's that place called? In South Calpheon. I forget what it's called, like south of Trent. You know those mobs in there. I forget what they're called. It's like Zarka Shrine, I think it's called, or whatever.
Oh, Serendia
Yeah,
Shrine
dude.
or whatever. That place?
Yeah, whatever it's called. you get a GVG down there because 2 guilds have a guild quest down there. So now you're just brawling it out instead of doing a guild quest. But because everyone has like 70 AP, nobody fucking dies.
Silent Chad says, "What does Restar mean?" Like I did, he is still struggling. True.
XD, dude.
True.
Just failed 4 more pins the other day, baby. Getting close to 100, I'm pretty sure at this point.
Imagine playing the game for 4 years and then Oasis gear comes out and it's an upgrade. So, is with the transition to life skilling and the peacefulness that brings, and the bliss and serenity and tranquility and all the words that are not true, because life skillers are the biggest griefers in the game. Do you actually enjoy life skilling?
Yeah, they are, man.
Is it actually fun to life skill, and which ones are you kind of focused on?
I mean, the way I look at it, it's just another grind, right? Like whether you're grinding mobs or wolves or whatever, it's just another grind. It's just a lot more laid back and allows me to hang out and interact with my stream a lot. But you know, the only aspect that is missing from it is there's not as much PvP, because everyone just hops on level 49 ults once you start killing them.
You think
How dare they?
You think you'll be able to fund your PvP gear with life skilling exclusively, or do you need to grind as well?
Oh, 100%. Like the amount of silver that you can make with life skilling and the little effort that you have to put into it is actually pretty insane. It takes some groundwork, of course, to like level your skills up and get everything built up, but you can easily make a couple bill a day with, just minimal effort.
So what are the masteries you're focused on? Which ones are you kind of like enjoying?
Cooking and gathering mostly right now. So for Imperial turn-ins, and then just gatherings.
Is bartering
Probably one of the most profitable at the moment.
Is bartering in your future?
I haven't gone over that edge yet. I haven't crossed that line, but never say never.
Yeah, I had a friend tell me in my guild that he doesn't. I was asking about the buffs coming up to Awakening, and he was like, "Oh, I don't grind anymore. I just barter." And I was like, "Really? Is it like that good?" And he said he makes like 800 mil a day, and his wrists don't hurt. It's a win-win.
That's how I feel like about just gathering and stuff right now. It's very non-key-put intensive, yet you're still able to make like 130, 140 mil an hour.
Right. You ever gonna get into? Do you Node War or Siege? Does your guild do? You're in Blacked, right? What do they do any of that? You planning on doing any of that?
Node Wars, yeah. And as soon as I start getting my gear back, absolutely.
Did they make you trial?
I think I've trialed enough in the past. We've Nayashe and Shaky, we've fought quite a bit in the past.
So preferential treatment from the Musa Mewa duo.
Hey man, I was originally a
DeadGG
Meiwa.
has more than proved himself.
Basically, I just ran up to him and started saying how much Meiwas need buffs and how bullshit stamina is.
auto in.
I didn't even get to finish typing. I just had a contract put up.
Max pay and everything. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yep.
I don't know what happened.
Well, you missed out. The way they do it in Blacked is they run their PvP trial 1v1. They test how good you are, see if you know your class, if you know how to defend yourself, your class knowledge on everyone else, and then after you play really well, and they're like, all right, how many times can a Meiwa chase before they're out of stamina and caught by a ninja who's too fast? That's the question. It's a loaded question, but that's the question. And if they guess wrong, like, he did really well in the PvP trial, he didn't really pass the proficiency test, so sorry. He out.
Yeah,
This game knowledge,
if you say any number higher than 10, they start to question what you know about this game.
If you play Musa Meiwa, the answer is 10. If you've actually like hopped on a Musa or Meiwa, the answer is like mid-20s. That's how many chases you can do before you're out of stamina. All right. Well, I think that's. I mean, Lahn is covered. Everyone plays it, except no one plays it anymore. It was kind of weird seeing Lahns. That was the weird thing with Succession, is that Lahns were around all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting coming back and Lahn being the flavor of the month class after everyone saying how shit it is for basically since it came out. But you know, a lot of those people are playing Guardians now, so now everyone can complain about how Guardians is Shift Q or Shift F, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Man,
the fact they have to press more than 2 keys is impressive.
You got your life skill gear pretty quick, so it's you're already at where you're at, able to make like over $1 bill a day, just life skilling.
Yeah, like yesterday I made almost $3 bill off of it.
Do you think one of the biggest like arguments on Reddit back and forth is if you make more money grinding or life skilling? So what, like the overall max amount of money you can make, what earns you more money, life skilling or grinding? What's better?
It honestly depends on if you're running loot scrolls. If you're running like loot scrolls nonstop, I think you'll still make more money grinding. But you can still supplement your grinding with Imperial turn-ins and stuff like that, which will kind of help your overall. It just kind of depends on what your setup is, right? Like, what's your AP when you're grinding? What's your mastery and stuff when you're life skilling? I think you can make very competitive silver life skilling, but just a fraction of the effort, really.
It's just a different kind of grind.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it.
Well, I'm hoping you inspire hundreds or thousands to start life skilling and get out of Starzone and Sucre, because they're slowly.
There's already been quite a few, and so now energy pots are pretty fucked.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah. For us non-life skillers, we can make money selling our energy pots now.
I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the new infinite pots that are coming out, and people having to tan to get pieces.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
But that's just the WP pot, right?
Yep.
I'm dreading that part.
That's what I'm going for. Right meow.
Yeah.
Really, the WP pot?
Yep.
Same.
Because I can do it. I can do it in peace. Nobody bothers me. It's lovely.
I mean, that's fair.
I think I've put a total of maybe, I don't know, probably somewhere between 8 to 10 hours at chickens here, just tanning away. I've seen like 4 people. It's so nice.
Do they flag?
No, they're usually just running through on a horse. I don't know where they were going. They're trucking through.
I heard the flag rate is higher on life skillers. The average national flag rate is up.
National flag rate.
Dude, you know the feeling people get. All right, DeadGG. Now that you're in, and I don't know if you do or have really done sheep since you've been doing this. Maybe you have in the past, but that feeling you get when you kill a pack of sheep and someone comes up to your pack and starts gathering, the rage that just sinks into your soul.
It happens frequently at wolves, and they're typically shy. And to
Oh
combat
my
that,
God.
I made a permanently red lawn named Death to Shy that
Jesus.
takes care of that problem.
The
So
hate.
what enrages you more, when someone starts gathering your mobs that you killed, or when somebody starts grinding your mobs in your rotation? What's more infuriating?
Well, I mean, definitely the gathering, because most of the time they'll, like I said, they'll swap to level 49, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? At least the other way, you can PvP and you win or lose.
Yeah, the 49 thing. Do you like the 49 thing? Do you think that?
Nah. I understand why it exists, but
I mean, do you think
It's,
it should
You
be
know-
it should be updated though? Like, I don't know, man.
I'll tell you how to fix. I'll tell you how to fix it, because I've thought about this for a while. Actually, I always thought that this was a weird abuse, or I don't know if I want to call it abuse, but it's a weird like loophole that people use. I use it even. What they need to do is they need to put a cap on life skills if you're under level 50. So like you can only get up to like a certain level on like your life skill levels, basically.
Well,
I'd be okay with that.
What about
it's
this?
not a bad idea.
Like you can't hit Master 1 until you hit level 50 or something like that.
Right. That's not a bad idea. I was thinking more along the lines of if your family, like if your account has a singular level 62, then that level cap goes away. Like if you have a level 62 on your account, then all of your characters can be PvP'd.
It's just gonna allow so much griefing, dude.
Yeah, but perfect. I mean, how is the other way not griefing, where you literally just take their mobs over and over and they can't do anything about
I mean,
it?
it is, but that's like saying like, "Oh, dude, my house is on fire, so I just ran my car into it." It's like, wait, what?
How is it like? No, because I mean, you still have the karma system. It's not like it ignores the karma system and the deck system and all that. So if someone wants to kill you, they still have to sacrifice their karma, and you probably don't have gear, so you only get what, 2 kills, maybe 3?
Yeah, but dude, the amount of people that don't give a fuck about karma and will gladly go red just to grief the shit out of somebody. I don't know.
You mean like Rezlar Polyforest?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I've heard the tales, dude.
Dude, I have my first I mean, I don't call it this, but I have my first permadeck, so that's fun.
In Sinfui. Dude, imagine being permadecked by Sinfui. That means you're
Dude,
decked by one person.
yeah, they are. And I'm 3-0 right now, so that's fun. I just catch them out in open world, just take care of them real quick, and be on my way.
Isn't that equivalent to having like 300 kills, you know, since there's only one player, you know?
Yeah. Dude, this is just a quick aside, but Sammy was fighting 2 people from Barcode. It was a while back, but he was killing 2 people from Barcode when we had a deck, and they started talking shit, and he was like, dude, LOL, like, you guys are like losing like 2-1. He's like, well, and then they said, of course we're losing 2-1. There's more of us than there are of you. And it's like, wait, that's not how that's not how that works.
Yeah, wrong math, buddy. That's that core math kicking in.
You guys remember that guild, Barcode? That was a long time
Do you remember that guild, dude? Oh my god.
They can't CTG anymore, I heard. All right, what should we move on to? Let's move on to
this just in, Barcode permadecked on Galaxy.
Once they have someone that can appoint officers, yeah, probably.
Dude, I'm still excited to see what's gonna happen on patch day when that GM slot goes up for grabs. I hope someone. I mean, I'm not gonna say I hope, but I kind of do. that somebody sabotages, because that would just be so hilarious to me.
I don't hope that if there's people that still want to build a guild, because like that I would hate if that ever happened to me, man. That would suck. That would actually, like, I was so scared of that happening in Hex when we tried to swap GMs. Remember? It's
Yeah,
like, dude, literally anyone could just fucking grab this. This is gonna be dumb.
but that's why I say, like, I hope, but I kind of don't hope at the same time. But I kind of do. It's like I'm torn. I'm like, dude, that would suck so hard, but at the same time, the fucking memes, dude. Oh my god.
God. All right, let's talk about these global buffs, these global lab awakening buffs across the board. So it's a lot of notes, so I'm not going to read through most of them, but at least the classes that we here on the podcast play, we can talk about those ones. So for context, they went through and buffed, I want to say 13 of the 17 classes awakening for PvE specifically. That's Sorceress, Ranger, Zerker, what is this? Tamer. Dude, the translations are literally different every week. It drives me nuts. Tamer this week is called Juem Serang.
What?
Yeah.
Juim Serang?
It's an upgrade.
I like it.
Musa. Dude, Musa got the fat one too. Mewa. Dude, Mewa's list is huge. Tamer list is huge. Witch, Wizard, Witch's location. I've learned that. Kuno, Ninja. Dude, the ninja ones are huge. Potentially. We'll see. Dark Knight, Striker, Mystic, and I think that's it. Oh, no, and Lahn. So let's start with you, DeadGG. Did you read through the buffs? Are these buffs actually going to help in PvE, these awakening buffs? And what skills do you know off the top of your head, or do you have a translation of what the skills are that got buffed?
Yeah. So they are buffing Tailspin to have 35% more damage on the first hit, which is pretty huge for Awakening Lahn. Bridal Despair has 10% more damage in PvE. Earthly Pain has 10% and a minus 15 DP buff or debuff, which it's a skill that like most Lahns don't even skill up because that's how useless it is, and the damage modifier for shit.
Is that the spacebar flow thing?
No, it's it is. I don't even know the keybind for it because I haven't used it for so long. It's a back LMB. It's like at max, the modifiers are only like 736 times 3, basically. So it's just bad. But maybe people replace Whiterun with it just for the quicker DP debuff. Flowmangler has 15% more damage, which is good. And it says its attack range has increased. However far that is, who knows? Bleeding Hearts is probably the big one. 10% more PvE damage, but also gives minus 20 DP now. So, like, the actual damage increases aren't that much, but they're adding more DP debuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Which we were already able to rotate 2 DP debuffs anyways, so it's kind of whatever. It'll help a little bit for Awakened Lahns, and maybe Lahns won't feel like obligated to have to go Succession for PvE.
Right.
But
I wonder if is Bleeding Hearts, is that change going to go to Succession as well? Because the damage is the same, I think, on both, isn't it?
The translation I have shows it as only Lahn Awakening.
Yeah.
So maybe, but from what I have, it shows only Awakening.
Right. Do you think this will be enough to put it on par with like other? I don't know how good is Lahn Succession grinding compared to like the best grinders like Sork Succession and.
It's way up there. Like Lahn Succession grinding's like pretty top tier.
Okay.
For sure.
You think this will be enough to bring it close to that? Because Lahn Awakening is not that bad at grinding, I don't think.
Nah, Lahn Awakening was top tier before Succession came out, and then it just got overshadowed by Succession completely.
Yeah.
As did a lot of other Awakenings, but hopefully it'll be in line. It'll have to be a lot of testing to kind of figure it out, but
Right.
it'll be nice to have the option if it does bring it in line to be
Dude,
able to choose one or the other.
Yeah, it's such a shitty feeling to like. I mean, even if you prefer whatever you prefer for PvP, but like being like friends that are awakened ninjas that are like, I have to switch to Succession to grind is like, that's so shitty.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. Rezlar, how are these Zerker buffs for PV? Do you want the translation? I have a link.
Dude, they're finally buffing Zerker male figure. I'm pretty hype about it, honestly.
Yeah, I linked. Someone in chat linked the actual image of all of the buffs translated and the rough like overall percentage boost of the damage. So Zerker Slugfest, 75% more PvE, 50% more crit, and no longer has stiffness. I don't know if that's just. Is that just PvE?
Yeah.
Okay. Ground lifting now has 43% more PvE damage, and devastation 100% crit rate in PvE. Is this enough to bring it up to Succession grinding?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
Dude, what's up with all these 75 and 100%? We got 10%.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, first, let me get this out of the way first. I am not the guy to talk to about PvE. Okay, let's just get that out of the way first. I know very little about the ways of Zerker PvE, especially if we're comparing Awakening to Succession, because I haven't played Succession, because I have no desire to. But my understanding is that Zerker Succession is really fucking good. And I just don't really see these changes making Zerker Awakening be as good. Now, of course, it's buffs, so it's going to be better. It's going to be nice. But just from my understanding of how insane Zerker Succession is in PvE, like at late game spots, I don't know if this is going to be put it on the same tier.
Yeah. I know for me, it's like, as long as it's remotely close, I can live with it. Because right now, like Kuno Awakening versus Kuno Succession is so far apart that it's like it's literally just unusable in comparison for grinding.
I mean, the weird thing is, and like again, I am not like the PvE expert, but from my experience anyway, even in Awakening, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I mostly just use Blasting, Ancient Wave. I guess I do use Devastation quite a lot. I don't use Slugfest that much, though, but I guess if you're at high-end spots, you would use it quite often. So I don't know. I guess that Slugfest buff would be nice if you're grinding at a lot of like high-end spots like Sacrea or something. That'd probably be pretty good.
Well, ground lifting.
Yeah, ground lifting is a nice change because ground lifting is something that you use like all the time, just constantly. It's like the main swap to go into Awakening 9 times out of 10. So that's pretty nice, and also the damage of ground lifting gets applied to General Disarray as well, I believe. So yeah, it does. So that's gonna be pretty nice. It's basically like 2 buffs in one sort of thing. So I mean, it's really nice and it's gonna help a lot, but just again, my understanding of Succession Zerker and just how insane it is, I just don't know if it's gonna be on the same level.
Let's move on to the victim in the room. Nayashe, how are the Maywa buffs for PvE? This is now.
Oh man,
I mean, because you got to remember, Cacao.
This is my time to shine. It's been
Cacao and Pearl
literally
Abyss.
A week.
Cacao and Pearl Abyss forgot Maywa existed, yet somehow they've gotten buffed 5 weeks in a row. So tell us, how is this? How are these Maywa buffs?
Oh man, honestly, it's hard to say how well that's going to impact Awakening. Obviously, it'll be in a positive direction. Will it make it just as strong as Succession? Remains to be seen.
Let me list these real quick for the people just listening and the recording. So Sticky Snowflake now has 10% more PvE damage. This is overall damage, so that's not like 10% per hit. It's just 10% total damage on the skill. Moonrise 15% more PvE damage. Moonrise now has 30% crit rate in PvE. Petal Bloom is 10% more PvE damage, and New Year's Eve has 100% more PvE damage. So yeah, go on.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Basically, the major changes will be the ones that we use in our current rotation with Awakening. So Sticky Snowflake will be nice for pulls, but typically it's not really used too much in rotation, but it is still nice. Maybe we can weave it into a new combo rotation. The Moonrise one is really good because that's one we use all the time in our rotation. And I'm just talking about the standard rotation that we currently use right now. Mind you, this could be adjusted, adapted as time goes on and when these actually get implemented. So the Moonrise one will be good. The Petal Bloom one will be good for sure. Let's see. The Moonrise getting crit, passive crit added to it for PvE specifically will be really good. But it kind of, with our rotation and how you do the rotation, if you follow the standard rotation that's documented and whatnot, you actually pretty much get 100% crit rate anyways. So it's kind of like overkill. I guess we could change up our rotation and maybe that'll help us meet the consistent 100% crit rate with that skill. But either way, that's really good to have that passive crit bonus there. Just make sure it guarantees that you always have 100% crit in PvE for Moonrise. The New Year's Eve one is weird. I was testing it out. It seems like it could potentially do good damage. The problem is, like, certain skills flow into it better. It basically, you can use New Year's Eve after any stab type ability. So like the very first hit of Moonrise is a stab. So instead of doing the flips that follow up right after, you can just do a quick New Year's Eve right there. Or with Stigma, you can do a New Year's Eve right after, or Tenacious Edge, or a lot of abilities. But how that one will really impact, I don't know. It always did okay damage in some PvE areas. It's mostly a skill I feel is best used in like lower tier zones where you can just do a quick New Year's Eve. It pops a small AoE and blows up smaller, weaker mobs. So maybe that'll be what it's typically used for rather than higher tier zones.
Is the
overall
is the
good.
5th week of consecutive buffs enough to convince you to roll Awakening, Mewa? Or are you still probably going to stay Succession?
Honestly, no, it's not. In my opinion, at least from what I was testing in Global Labs, mind you, I am scuffed on Awakening, so that needs to be taken into consideration. I haven't played Awakening for PvE in 4 or 5 months at this point. I've been Succession ever since. I've dabbled in PvP a little bit, but even that's been very minimal, like a couple days here and there, and that's it.
Right.
I would need someone that's been actively still in Awakening to give me their true opinions, but from just playing around with it, it kind of seems like it's still slower than Succession. Succession's just so strong.
Yeah, I do think, like, I think they still need to touch on some of the pre-awakened skills for PvE on a lot of these classes. Because you basically have to use some of them for filler damage. And
that was actually what I was going to mention anyways. I agree, but go on.
Well, anything specific on Mewa?
Well, Absolute Red Moon, so Succession, how it works is it's basically just group up the mobs, get your Red Blade buff, stack crit bonuses and any other add-on bonuses you can, like PvE add-on or PvE AP, and then get in the Red Blade mode and blow the fuck out of the mob pack. Doesn't matter which zone we're talking about here. That's basically the rotation for everything except for the smaller tier mobs. But for Awakening, it's a little bit different. You weave in not only the Awakening skills, but also the absolutes like Red Moon. Red Moon is huge for a lot of the PvE damage. So Absolute Red Moon would probably realistically need to be buffed as well.
Right.
And then maybe even the rebams, honestly. The rebam skills haven't been touched in such a long time.
Yeah.
And we do weave those in. I feel like their PvE should be increased at the minimum.
Does anyone remember the last time rebam skills have been rebalanced? Like,
nope. Not since the CC changes.
The CC changes.
Yeah, it's so weird to me that those skills are like forgotten. I almost feel like Cacao or PA or whatever hates, like, doesn't like those abilities. Like, they're just completely forgotten on every class.
I think for most classes, they're probably fairly stable, and I say that, you know, with caution, but stable in the sense that they do what they do, and that's it.
But yeah, but some of them don't make any sense. Like if you think about the usefulness of something like Shadow Ignition on Sork, and then you think about like the Meiwa skills, it's like kind of like, wait, what? Or even like Heart Snatch. Like, you think a Heart Snatch is damage, and you compare its like cooldown to like something like Shadow Ignition, and I don't know. It's like such a weird, like, they haven't been changed in balance forever. I mean, even I don't even know if outside of like the actual CC changes on them in the CC changes, or when that happened, I don't even think they changed any damage numbers like before that either. Pretty sure it's just kind of been the same, hasn't it? The only thing I can think of is the Archer ones, but that was more because the Archer was brand new. The rebams just came out, and then they removed some CCs from Archer in general.
Yeah, I mean, Meiwa has one rebam skill that's, I mean, most classes have the same problem where one rebam option is just completely garbage in comparison to the other one. Crimson Gust would be the one for Meiwa. When it first was introduced, it was basically one-shotting people. And they conveniently found that it was doing 2 times the damage with each hit. So they nerfed the fuck out of it. And it's been pretty much just a extra float. That would be cool to have that as a viable option in PvE for damage or just combo potential. But yeah, most of the skills have been, you know, fairly untouched. Like you were saying.
All right, let's move. Kuno Wheel Wrath.
Ooh, before we go on,
yeah,
a guildie literally just got the Shirkan piece in 5 minutes of just starting. What a what a fucking shitter!
Oh my god, dude!
He's getting kicked immediately.
So Kuno Wheel Wrath now has 23% more PvE damage, which is nice because it's so funny that Wheel Wrath in Succession is like our hardest hitting PvE skill, or one of them, and then in Awakening it does literally nothing. Chain Crash is 26% more PvE damage. That's kind of a slow skill. That one I'm skeptical. We'll see. Hopefully it actually does damage now. It'd be nice to have that in the rotation. Half Moon Slash, which is a little side slash, 13% more damage. Flow Wrath now has 21% more PvE damage and 50% crit. That'll be good. That'll help a lot because that skill right now is actually so slow that it's not worth. It's like the DPS is so bad. Spin Spree got 17% more PvE damage. Let's go. I still can't even, like, when I think about Succession compared to Awakening, Spin Spree has an 8-second cooldown. And Shadow Explosion has a 16-second cooldown. Why? Halo's range was increased, and Halo now has minus 10 DP for 15 seconds. I mean, it had it for like 10 seconds or something before, so I don't know. That's whatever. But I don't know, like, when you look at the raw damage numbers, it's hard to tell if it's going to be good or bad. But if it is good, I'm definitely going to be grinding on Awakening Kuno, especially for Sakreya. Sakreya grind on Succession is tedious as fuck. I want to talk about Ninja, though, because Ninja is one of these classes that has been bad at PvE for so long. And which is funny because in PvP it's so good, but in PvE it's been so bad. And they have so many skills in their Awakening tree that are locked or just not used at all. So Seamless, which is a spacebar skill, 100% crit rate in PvE, 35% crit rate in PvP. So it actually got a PvP buff as well. and it has a lower cooldown, and then 45% more PvE damage, so that's good. Flow Execution, which is just kind of like a singular hit, 25% more PvE damage. Sure Chaos Spree, last hit, 50% more PvE damage, and 100% more crit rate, or 100% crit rate in PvE. That one is still kind of weird because the cooldown is so long that you can't use it from one pack to the next, which doesn't make a lot of sense because the skill's not very good. I don't think that skill will still be good after. Corrupted Sword Dance, now it's 10% more PvE damage. Sudden Decapitation, 10% more PvE damage. Katana Shower, 10% more PvE damage. Murderous Intent, 10%. Serpent, 20%. Drastic Measure, 15%. And Vacuum Slash, 10%. So I'm hoping that that's enough to make Ninja Grind viable, because there's so many ninjas out there that are suffering. In PvE.
Yeah, the Awakening is like pretty much wrist breaking, right?
It's so bad. The other day, Sammy was grinding, and he was like, he was talking about diamond rotation on Stars End. He's like, dude, I can literally overclear this place without a draft, and with a draft, I'm like 2 packs behind, like the respawn on Awakening. It's like that much different. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they buffed Tamer Succession Bolt Jolt damage range and Whiplash damage increase in succession, just as an aside, which is scary. Like their damage isn't enough. Yeah, I don't know. So overall, I'm excited as fuck about these changes, dude. Awakening being viable again. I'm kind of curious if we're going to see way less Succession people out there and way more Awakening.
You know what I'm actually happy about in regards to this? They're buffing Awakening and not nerfing Succession.
Yeah, me too.
I was kind of worried they might consider nerfing Succession.
Silent Chad asked, heard a rumor that after Awakening PvE, Awakening PvP is next. Where this rumor come from? Anders mentioned it, but I couldn't find any evidence. Thoughts?
I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, some of these classes, their Awakening is already good, as good or better than their Succession, depending, but still, overall, I think that'd be good. In general, I think Succession's still probably a little bit better in PvP on average.
You know what? Not to get a little off topic, but this just kind of reminded me. With Zerker's Succession, it just kind of like confirmed the fact that PA wants us to be a 3-minute class, and that's just like the most depressing thing, actually. Because it's like, oh really? God, they're never gonna break us out of this loop, are they?
You say that, man, but I don't know, man. I've been in a bunch of Node Wars recently where Zerker Succession is the only version of Zerker that people play. And, man, like, that shit is fucking wrecks people, even without their 100.
I watched that video Xavier's posted in y'all's Discord, and almost every single clip was, first of all, it's Slavage, so 300 AP.
Yeah,
second of all, almost every single clip was either Q buff and or ulti. I was like, dude,
that guy actually has, I'm not kidding, like he has like a pocket witch in Node War and Siege that goes with him when he mercs that always just feeds him their 100%. So that's going to be his highlight video for sure.
Dude, I don't know. Because like the thing about the Zerker Succession, like the part that like is really cool about it is the whole like augmenting your abilities to be like all the whole like beastly theme, right? Which is like super dope, but then it's like, oh, it's when we Q buff. So just like Awakening, how we get this really cool ability and become really strong when we Q buff.
You literally embrace the ape.
But I still think I think you're underestimating the non-Q buff version of those skills. Some of them are actually really good. They do a lot of damage.
I'm sure they are. Just
that spin is crazy. Dude.
And I'm sure they are. And I'm not saying that Succession is like weak in like PvP. By all accounts, it seems like it's okay now since they buffed it from when it was dog shit. It seems like it's okay now. But my point is that like I would rather Zerker be a strong class overall than an okay class and then overpowered every 3 minutes. That's my point. Like, I just don't like... It's not fun. it's not fun being like overpowered as fuck every 3 minutes. I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
fun.
I don't disagree. Zerker Mewa Kuno Wine Podcast. That's what we are.
Featuring DeadGG.
Featuring DeadGG. DeadGG and 3 victims.
For the longest time, I always said, every patch I don't see Lahn comments in there, I'm happy. Just don't buff us, don't nerf us, and I'm good.
I know, right? That is kind of the hope sometimes.
Because if you get buffed, you're inevitably gonna get gutted.
Sarok says that pretty sure they mentioned PvP balance at the top of the Global Lab notes. Did they? I didn't actually look at the top. I was just skip down to the classes that I play when I look at Global Lab.
Yeah.
So do I typically, but
I'll read the top for you here. It says through this week's update. That's why I want to read it, dude. Let me do this. Through this week's update, the awakening PvE balance of some characters has been increased based on the efficiency of the upper hunting ground. We focused on reducing the difference between each character. We apologize for not being able to proceed to PvP at the same time, and we will update related updates through the Black Desert Labs as soon as they are ready. We will value and refer to your opinions. So that's they're just saying like they paused the PvP to get this out real quick, and then they're going back to PvP. I did want to do some of these translations are so beautiful that I just want to read them. Dude,
male figure actually killed me whenever I read it.
Yeah, this is. I've been saying this forever. I don't know what's happened. Google Translate has been a thing forever, and it's progressively getting worse and worse. Let me hold on. They had a list of the skills that split damage got removed from because I guess the community was asking it. I believe we'll probably get it. Whenever we get this patch, we'll probably see that list as well, and it'll be translated properly. But some of these are really good. My favorite one was the Kuno one. The witch one. The witch flow wood chips left attack.
Oh my god.
That one's good. Kuno had a flow trees left-handed attack. It also translates differently like every time. It's so I don't know, man. It's so bad.
It's fantastic.
Here's some of the skills that Ninja had split damage removed from ruin, beheading, sesame, ascending, cutting, and kicking.
Cutting.
Remember how you guys ninjas were doing so poor in Node War because they couldn't do full damage with ascending, cutting, and kicking? Well,
that makes sense.
Oh, and then which had the split damage removed from River Freezing Ninja.
Nice.
It's a skill specifically towards ninjas.
Yeah.
I want skills specifically toward ninjas.
It would be good.
Dude.
Like, expose your stealth kind of abilities.
Yeah, just give me a sword.
You mean like Archer has and nobody even takes?
All right, so they added this new equipment called Nesser equipment. Did you guys see this? So this is what it looks like.
I briefly looked at it.
Yeah, this one I didn't do enough research. I think people are... I think it's not just seasonal. This is seasonal and in-game. I'm pretty sure you get these from finishing... let's see. It says the following top-of-the-line contribution equipment has been added that can be rented as contributions to the Valencian family. Nesser gear can be worn by both seasoned and regular characters. So there's a main weapon, secondary weapon, awakened weapon, helmet, armor, gloves, and shoes. And I believe all of them are equal to... I think they're equal to Tet. I'm pretty sure. Nesser equipment can be rented through 50 contribution points per part. So you can actually use contribution to rent like kind of high-end gear. Or higher-end gear, like above Oasis. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I guess this kind of goes towards the Oasis like being permanent thing, in a way.
It's another catch-up mechanic. I think at least just using it for like your primary weapon or something, while you're trying to grind out enough silver for it, would be good for new players. Or when someone's an idiot and blows their shit up.
I think Oh, yeah, someone says perma reds are going to have a field day. I believe this has the same rules as Oasis, where if you're 0 karma or less, the equipment ability does not apply, so it loses its AP, and your AP just drops. So you technically can't be perma red with this gear. But man, 50 CP per piece is a lot. This is just a promotion to let people roulette more often. I feel like we got the rental accessories and now the actual rental gear. Oh my god!
Oh, of course, dude. They've been light on artisan sales lately. They gotta like, bump up those sales, baby.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's anything else. Yeah, I don't know. Looks like it's about it. The aiming and
I think
pointing
overall
of
it's,
precision shelling has been increased, dude. Boat wars gonna get better. Yeah, I don't know. This rental gear. Are you guys gonna rent anything? Rez, these are all
I'm not
upgrades
gonna-
for you. So
Shut the fuck up.
what are you gonna spend?
Damn.
What are you gonna spend your CP on, dude?
Damn.
It will let you raw
I mean-
tap your dandy.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's mostly to encourage players to go for these higher tier accessories or higher tier gear enhancements. I mean,
And not feel miserable when your weapon is pry and you can't participate in T2
Yeah.
Node Wars.
yeah,
Great, so I can fail one more pen attempt every time I go for it. Sweet.
Build out beautiful stack up.
Mm. At this point, I'm close to giving up. In all honesty.
Oh no. All right, let's talk about the ban wave that no one is talking about because no one cares about when actual cheaters are being banned. They only care about mappers. Did you know there was a ban wave this week? Show of hands who knew there was a ban wave this week.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's just fish spotters and speed hackers, though.
No. More than that. Hold on.
Hmm.
There's one more set that I think is huge.
Oh, the trade hack.
Wait. Oh, I opened the wrong one. Wait. Yes, the trade hack thing. Wait, where is this shit? Oh, here we go. Third-party software ban. All right, yeah. 21 fish bots banned. 92 other speed hack / bot, and 101 trading speed hack bots, which is like, that's when, if anyone has seen when you're in BA right at the entrance and you see a shy with a barcode name pop in for 1 second and then pop out, and they all have like rank 1 through 5 trading on their channel, and there's like, yeah, they're making a shitload of money. Speed hack
It's just
trading.
Barcode's backup plan if their maps didn't work out.
Well, they're not in the barcode guild, but they are barcode names. So yeah, they're
I
all.
mean, technically, they might be.
Yeah, they might be. Dude, that's kind of a lot of accounts. 214 accounts banned. 200 and what is my math here? Yeah, 214. That's good. Fuck the trading speed hackers. You know what's so funny is I feel like they had to do this on the patch with the infinite pot because we were going to see all those speed hacking Zerkers at Sheer Ruins now that people are actually there. It was going to be like publicly exposed.
yeah, they're gonna be like, shit, where do we go now? Now they'll actually end up in fucking Sakurai. Sorry, Frosty.
There already were some in there. No, Sakurai is not full
I actually
of hack.
had never. I don't think I've ever run into one.
I ran. This
I've
sounds
ran
fake.
into at least 10 before.
Yeah, we're at Achman mostly.
Akhman, Sakurai, Tashira, pretty much anywhere.
I ran into. This sounds fake, but I legitimately ran into a group of 4 of them running relics, which looks really weird. But it was 4 Zerkers all in a row with red exploding blood on them, and they all looked like they were charging up, like powering up, like Dragon Ball Z, and like the scrolls would spawn and just die instantly next to them, like over and over and over again. There's something funny to me about like this bot that's grinding all day, and then the poor bot has to go run relic scrolls. The bot probably hates it, dude. Like, oh, I have so many relics I gotta do. All right, moving on. I think comments. Have you guys gotten any potion parts?
Not I.
No.
That would require grinding.
I haven't even tried yet.
Haven't even tried. I got the Shira Runes one like 3 hours in. No luck on Mansions though, sadly. I need the man. It's probably best for the best that I don't get the Mansions one, because then I'm gonna have to gather, and I don't want to do that. But yeah,
Just like the compass, like the other pieces are so easy to get, and then you just need the Elton, and then you're stuck grinding for 3,000 hours.
yeah. Okay, so I guess we can move on to comments. DeadGG, generally here we like to give our guests the option. If you want to stay and hang out for comments, you're welcome to contribute. I'll throw it to you here and there, and if you have any opinions on anything people say, feel free to chime in. Otherwise, if you're pressed on time or you have to bounce, feel free. You're welcome to do that as well. It's totally up to you.
I'm just chopping wolves, man. I'm
Chopping wolves.
good to
All right,
hang
cool.
out.
Alrighty. Glad to hear it. Let's see. Let's go to newest first. Okay. Priestu says, great podcast as always. Please give us Sork some love. Why community hates Sork so much? Meta on the console is completely different.
Whoa.
What? Yeah.
Wait, we're doing comments?
Yeah, we're doing comments. We don't got anything else, dude. We're just talking about the bandwidth.
I thought we had infinite pot pieces. You put that in there.
Yeah. How many do you have? No one has
0.
Any. Yeah, no one has any. I am the only one with one piece. I'm the only one with a single piece, dude.
Wow. Also, I thought I was reading comments today. You stealing my thunder, bitch?
Yeah, I'm doing the comments, dude. We gotta have someone who can read. All right, so Priesto said,
Whoa!
Dude, I don't know, man. I'm just so scared. I let the Mewar read once, and it got dicey. And now I'm just so concerned. And it's easy because it's up on the screen for the record. It's it's all good. All right,
dude. It's just the names. Everyone can't come up with some fucking simple ass name.
Yeah. Oh, also, DeadGG, before we go on to the comments, plug your stuff. You stream. Do you make YouTube videos as well, or you just stream?
Just stream.
Just stream. All right. Where can people find your stream?
On the DeadGG at Twitch.
Twitch.tv/thedeadgg.
That is correct.
And that's where you find him.
Did you
briefing other
give him
people's
an out, or did you just start reading comments?
I gave him an out. I gave him an out. He said all he's doing is chopping wood, and he's down to hang out.
Okay, I just want to make sure,
Reslar has become my nagging wife, dude. That's what he is. Did you even ask if they want something to drink? Maybe he wants something to drink. Priestu says, great podcast as always. Oh yeah, give Sork some love. Meta on console is completely different. I think we are slowly progressing towards what's on PC, but you have to get really good gear so you don't get crushed by witch wizards. Hey, same, dude. Console performance, low FPS, lags, desynchronization favors AoE spamming and super armor frontal guard rotation. Sork below 240 AP is dog shit in PvP. We do not have any easy WW input, and we need to use our BAMs from the hotbar, old PC or BAMs, etc. The life of a Sork on consoles ain't easy. Of course, I'm aware these problems also affect other classes. Yeah, dude, that sucks, man. I don't even know. I don't know what to say about it because it's just so limiting, and the balance is so different here. So in generally 99% of the time when we're referring to balance on this podcast, it's more geared towards PC. I know the console players struggle and their meta is totally different, and it probably would be good if they rebalanced your guys' stuff differently. But I doubt they'll ever do that.
A real answer is just join the PC Master Race, and you don't have to worry about it.
True.
That's true.
Then you get your own new set of problems.
Yeah, DeadGG got to 650 gear score in 3 weeks, so you could do it too. He also said,
Jesus.
when will we invite a Sork Sensei to the podcast? We had Heedon on a while back. I forget which episode, and can we recommend any good Sork to watch? Yeah, Heedon. Go check out Heedon's videos. Heedun. He also streams. I forget his Twitch off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's in the description of that episode. 08 says WW Chase cancels the lingering animation for stub arrow while normal W does not. How does console even play without all these cancels? He says Musassen's suggestion to have Chase cost more stamina and go faster is the worst possible change you can have for Musa Mewas. The time you're in SA will be cut by more than half, and you'll spend even more time Q/S blocking. Sad Frosty didn't read my last paragraph. I think you had a really long thing. I got to get a TLDR. If it's too long, it gets kind of hard. He says, I don't want grabs removed.
Yeah, by the way, just want to interject here real quick. If comments continue getting longer and longer, which I do like, but people do not start putting TLDRs, I'm going to start TLDRing them for you. And so if I miss your point because you didn't write a TLDR, that's on you. So I'll just let that be known right now. I'm making an announcement. We can't keep spending like 2 to 3 hours alone on comments because people are typing up essays. And while we can read essays, on our own time in the recording, it just extends the podcast far longer than what it needs to be. So please put a TLDR. If you don't, I'm going to put one for you, and I might miss your point. So just be warned now.
Right. And we do. I do read all of them.
I read all of them as well. Yeah. And to be fair, if I do end up doing a TLDR for you, I'll try and reply. So that way that I read it and I can give my full opinion on it, even if we don't talk about it as much on the show or whatever. So Try and make it fair, but just we gotta shorten up the time a little bit that we're spending on comments is basically what it comes down to.
All these classes with 7 to 10 second grab cooldowns have other methods to play PvP, whether that be SA range, damage CC, or both, but what I really want is just manageable iframes. You shouldn't be able to play against grab classes the same way you do against classes without grabs, but for fuck's sake, give Musa Mewa the following iframes. Mewa Awakening Sleet Steps, Mewa Succession Stigma, Musa Awakening One Step Back, Musa Succession Evasive Shot. I think that's totally reasonable. Kamikaze says Ninja got both PvP damage nerf, mobility nerf affects PvE, and increased cooldown on shuriken skills. So I would claim Ninja also got suck nerfs for both PvE and PvP, just FYI. True, it definitely was a nerf to PvE, but it was very minor, in the grand scheme. If you're at Secrea, Star's End, the places like that, the travel distance is so minimal that it barely affected trash. But in some of the other spots, that's definitely fair. Even in history where you have to cross rooms, I think the alert stance nerf affected them a little bit. Dancing Sword says, in my opinion, the only class that needs a grapple break is a witch. Maybe a wizard too. Fuck wizards. I agree. I like that wizard wouldn't get it. It's we introduce a grapple break for Awakening Witch, and Wizard's Chilling Wave now no longer has a CC or frontal guard. Congratulations. Kashira says,
dude, I was thinking about this the other day. What if they actually did make Chilling Wave not protected or CC, but they made the range on it fucking huge. So it's you cast it from really fireball range away, I don't know if that's even possible considering terrain, but that'd be cool.
Or as crazy as this sounds, even gore roll range, maybe, Great podcast as usual, Kashira says. TLDR, Kaffir's change includes an uptick in market. Exploit punishments are okay. Let me see. Let me read the Kaffir's thing real quick. He said, in terms of Kaffir's change, I feel 95%, the 95% change and the decrease in C1 through 4 will increase market price rather than decrease it. More new players will be willing to invest Kaffir's since their weapons won't be as expensive. So, yeah. You're saying basically Caphras will actually go up in price, not down because of this. Since it's a little easier to Caphras, more people are going to be willing to buy them, which is probably true.
Demand is going to go up, I would assume. So.
I was dreading getting. So when I was not going to Caphras my Dandy to level 3 because Pen Dandy is like kind of expensive to Caphras. I don't even remember. It was like 600 Caphras or 500, something kind of crazy to get to 3, and I was like, not worth it. I play Succession anyway. And then I saw the Awakening buffs, and I was like, fuck, I got to get that so I can get the 289 bracket with Kudum. And I was dreading it, and I go pop the Dandy in the window. Dude, it only cost me 330 Caphras stones to get my Pen Dandy to level 3. Which seems so freaking cheap compared to what it used to be. So, yeah. Share My Feed says, get Tim back on the podcast. Max Punch says, damn, where's the Maywa when you need him? The discussion could have been so salty. Missed opportunity. I really miss Frosty being super nice to him. Oh, you were missed, Nayashe.
He got called into work. And also, I think he died because he just typed, I'm getting griefed by my PC. He died on us. So he's not here for this either, I guess now.
Yeah, look, dude, you cursed him. Someone give Zethian a fucking medal. That is genius. Wait, to what's that in reference to?
What did we mention about Zethian last episode?
To add on to that, throw in Frosty's toggle suggestion. What was my toggle suggestion?
What I don't even remember talking about Zethian last episode.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm sorry. Fuck.
I read that comment when it was first posted, like 4 days ago or whatever it was, and I was like, wait, what? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Suggestion about loot scrolls.
What was his suggestion?
I don't remember, but apparently we talked about it. Dev, what was the suggestion? We're small brains here. We're smooth brains. Help us.
My brain is fried, dude. I
We can't remember things.
4 a.m. because of this.
Making quarantine. Loot scrolls.
Restore Agris Fever. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got some different comments here. We got making loot scrolls for Agris Fever, some shit. Toggling loot scrolls on and off, I think. So yeah, something like that. Something to do with Agris Fever or something of the sort.
Right. Okay.
I don't even have Agris Fever yet. Should I do that? I probably should.
Yeah, every day when you grind, it just gives you more trash loot. It's kind of nice. And since you probably don't grind absolutely every single day, so it builds up. It builds up to 20k, so you can use it all like at once, which is kind of nice. He says, I think having it be a point system also makes it kind of weird, doesn't it? He's talking about Agris Fever. Some classes kill more mobs an hour, and even just having high-end gear means you do compared to low gear, so those points won't always last an hour. Yeah. I think I don't know. It's in a weird. It's a good like base thing. How do you feel about Agris Fever, DeadGG? What are your thoughts on the Agris Fever change?
I think it's great. I mean, anything that helps it, maximize your time while you play. Some people like me have way too much time, but there's also a lot of people that only get to hop on for an hour or two a day.
Does it need a toggle to turn on and off so you can use it when you want?
I think it'd be nice to, but I don't think it's necessary.
It doesn't affect anything when you're gathering. Like killing wolves doesn't even affect it, right? Because it's not technically like a normal mob or sheep and stuff.
I don't believe so, although I haven't done it yet. So.
Well, when you do wolves for 1 hour and for some reason you have 7,000 wolf trash loot, you'll know why. All right, moving on. Noxic. Sorry to not read the whole thing, Talos. A little bit long. Put a TLDR next time when you get a chance. He ends with #res the raid boss. Noxic welcome back.
Our resident Maywa is back. PC stopped griefing.
Yeah, it fucking gave me an error. And I couldn't get back in. It was giving me some errors saying my startup processes were not right.
Well, there was
Okay.
you missed a comment. Somebody said that you were missed last episode because there could have been a lot of salty discussion
Oh
from
yeah,
last
there was.
episode if you're there.
I listened to the episode after you guys made it available. I was like,
Did you punch your keyboard?
there's so much shit I could say right now.
They also said they missed me being nice to you. Nux,
Yeah.
Nuxic
No, what
Bars.
was hilarious? What was hilarious is you watched it in Google Drive, didn't you? Because you commented. You you messaged in the group chat, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, the video's not even up yet." How
Yeah,
is he
no,
watching
my
it?
initial response was, Nayashe is such a lying son of a bitch.
No, I was listening to it through the MP3 that you guys had available on the Google Drive.
I was like, "Oh, I forgot. We shared the Google Drive. You must be watching it through that." Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was able to access it that way.
Not Piotr in Twitch chat says Rezlar has little peepee.
All right, that's it. Piotr, you're losing your mod status.
Yikes.
Noxic Parse has been watching for a little bit now, been enjoying this podcast as a whole. Since I'm a new player, there's nice info dump, and hearing the state of the game from people is cool. Was horrible, ruined Saturday, though, and woke up excited to watch the stream of the podcast just to have zero stream. Sorry about that. Nayashe's computer is, or shit happened.
No, I
that
had
was
to work
work.
that day.
Oh, you had to
Yeah, that
work
was
that
work.
day.
Yeah, I had to work.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do, I've already made it, but for some reason the bot's down right now. Maybe she's back up. Let me see. Nope, still down. I don't know why the bot's down right now, but I'll figure it out. I've already made the roles. I made a Nayashe stream club and a podcast stream club. So once I get the bot back up and running, you're going to be able to assign yourself those roles. So if you want a notification of when Frosty goes live, you can get the Frosty stream club role. If you want a notification of when Nayashe goes live, you can get the Nayashe stream club role. And then if you just want notifications whenever we're doing the podcast, when we're recording the podcast live, then you can get the podcast stream club role. Because sometimes Nayashe do it, sometimes Frosty will do it, maybe sometimes both of them will do it. We never know. It's just a fucking flip of the coin at this point. So if you only want notifications on when the podcast is going live, you're going to want to subscribe to that role. But it's not available yet. So if you're in the stream, don't go trying to do it. Bot has to be back up. I don't know why it's down. I got to figure it out.
Yeah, he says, now that I know the reasons, though, I totally understand. Just funny that the time I wanted to watch it was down. TLDR, get fucked, nerd. Storm16 says, Musa main here. My problem with Musa is when I Dragon Bite, which has connected to forward blind thrust, the CC mechanic should 100% work. I don't know if other Musa may have the same problem, but I feel that this occurs one too many times. Also about punishment for the map exploit, needed to be more than 1-to-1. If you consider this a bank loan, then you have to pay interest on the amount you loaned, because to be real, as a 264 with Nuver, Musa main 3.5 bill could go a very long way for me, and I will join them if the punishment was 1-to-1. Yeah, true. Also, side notes, stack, use the stack to enchant stuff, mainly accessories. I don't really have a problem with, because they're taking risks with their loan, and it could go bad. I still have a problem with it, because fucking the stacks were free. They didn't make them.
Yeah, there is literally no effort involved besides just killing chests.
Yeah.
Especially because the ones that did the masterminding of it, that actually made the alts and got all the maps, were permabanned. So that means everyone else didn't have to do shit. So literally free effort.
True. There's a salty Maywa, dude. Austin Lassiter says, if there is punishment for breaking blocks, then block stagger has to be completely removed from the game. Sometimes you get locked in stagger and cannot do anything.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh,
yeah.
you're talking about
does he mean? Does he mean? He means just getting locked in block, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So there are some times where you will actually be locked into your block while your block is being hit, and there is nothing, or sometimes it'll be like very specific skills that you can use to get out of it, basically, instead of the skills that you want to use.
Yeah.
I think I did say that last episode where I said you would want to make sure that that's not a thing anymore, because that it would be kind of ridiculous.
I think you just pointed out that it is a thing that, like, you can't do that change because you get block locked. But it's so weird because, like, the mechanic of it, I think is it's one of those things that was put in the game originally, and I feel like it doesn't really make sense anymore. I think back in the day it made sense because skills didn't hit you super hard, and maybe it was to help like newer players like not let go of their block too early, kind of thing. Like it's almost like an autopilot block. Because I noticed when like on Kuno, if I S block and someone hits my block, it has no effect. Like I can move or do whatever I want. But if I use Q to block, then I'm stuck in it for a really long time. Unless I side dash, which is less. You're not really thinking of that at the time because you're so used to not having to do that. So it's like weird. Yeah, that should just be removed regardless of block being changed. The block lock.
Yeah,
is
it just
dumb.
doesn't make sense. So, I mean, if you're using an ability and your block breaks, you don't get interrupted. And yeah, it's just when you're just holding your block. It's just weird.
Wow, seriously says Archer main here from the struggling console community praying for decent servers. We highly agree with Reslar and Full Bloom not having a plates for Archer's kit. So as a replacement, we could get 2 Luthergans calls. Great work suggesting.
Oh
Don't you have to? Piercing Light is kind of like Luthergan's call. Come on. Great work suggesting another long range ability to one-shot people. Sincerely, the real ranged class. And then he puts a whole bunch of other stuff out. Archer's balance, increase cooldown, and that sort of thing. Let's see. Ash McLeod says, I like Suck Guardian, nerf Awaken as much as y'all want. I'll be okay with it, but I can honestly say on my Mystic, I have 0 issues facing them, but I believe it's mainly just learning the matchup by sparring others. The only issue I've had with Guardian is their ability to self-heal on a good amount of their AoEs if correctly tuned. True. Bunny says, is it just me or is the podcast turning into 70% comments and 20% talking to the guests about new updates and 10% bullying Nayashe? Thank you for the podcast. Heart and Frosty stream earlier so I can stay longer. Woo woo. I've been trying to. I can't wake up early.
It is turning into that, which is why we're going to try to shorten down the comments just a wee bit. So,
yeah.
Write TLDRs or they're going to be written for you. And if I misunderstand your point, that's your fault, not mine.
I do like the idea of Reslar going in and actually logging into all of your YouTube accounts and editing your comments and putting TLDRs for you. Dude, I try to wake up early, man, to stream. This quarantine stuff has me going to sleep at some nasty
It's hard for him to wake up
hours.
early when he stays up till 4:30 in the morning playing the fucking Forest.
Dude, my woman's making me stay up till like 4 watching her stupid shows. It's driving me nuts.
I hate General Hospital, dude. All right, D-Jack says, my problem with the Musa is him being a male. I want an actual female Musa. Would rather hear a female moaning than a man grunting.
Oh my gosh.
God.
That's Mewa for you.
That's Mewa, dude. That is Mewa. They don't like the ice, though. They want a female with the fire animations. Mr. X says, Guardian is practically an overtuned Valkyrie from what is being said. I'm not sure which class is slower, but I know my Valkyrie has high burst damage for how much slower she has become. But she has almost no protection in engages. He's talking about Awakening. Or her grab. But I'd still play my Valkyrie over an imbalanced Guardian. I'd even go as far as to say Valkyrie is in a good spot right now. Balanced compared to other classes. However, I'll take buffs, any and all. Yeah, it wouldn't be bad to see Valk get some love. They didn't even get any changes in PvE for some reason. The
Guardian is definitely slower than Valk, though. I don't know how that is just true. That's just a fact. Guardian is slow as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
I'm leveling up a Valk right now. Well, it's kind of been put on pause while I'm trying to do this infinite pot thing, but I got my Valk to like level 58 right now, and I leveled up a Guardian to level 60, and I can confirm Guardian is a lot fucking slower.
Right. I actually do love that. I don't know. I love the Oasis gear being in the game currently because the pot grind, you don't really need super high-end gear to grind it, so I can just keep grinding on any class I want that I have leveled already. I did like 2 hours of sheer ruins on a fucking Ranger succession. Dude, Descending Current is the most beautiful thing in the whole game, dude. Standing in one spot and killing every mob in a massive AoE around you and then just walking in a circle to pick up the loot. That shit is so good. Every class needs that skill. Danielle Bichetti says, I'm getting confused from all this Siege Merc node talk. So if you win Siege, you can't even Merc out to Node War during the week. You are locked in from PvP till next Saturday. Really?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you win a territory on a castle, you can't place for Node War, and you can't Merc out. You literally just don't get to PvP until the following Saturday, outside of like open world shit.
Yeah, which is why a lot of siege guilds sometimes don't even want castles, and they'll just give it to somebody else because they don't really want the money and they just want the fight and then hand it off so that they can keep fighting. Basically, it's honestly, aside from I think the Merc system currently, it's probably the worst thing about Siege is the fact that you get fucked on content by winning, which just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Wait, DeadGG, were you ever into Siege or not really? Or do you enjoy Siege?
I've Siege with Kyokai for a long time, and then I've Merced out a ton as well.
What are your thoughts on Siege and the Merc system?
I think the Merc system kind of gives smaller guilds a chance to at least compete with or, fight alongside some of the larger guilds, which is pretty cool. But it's definitely abused for sure.
Is Siege fun on Lahn?
Most Lawns don't seem to think so, but I do.
700 gear score changes things, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Now, didn't you mostly siege like Balanos, Serendia, and then some Calphion, right? I imagine.
Yeah, typically.
Medai and Valencia siege on Lawn is probably awful.
It's actually pretty fun.
Really?
You get to basically fly into Valencia, and you get to hop all over the place. So, like, your mobility is pretty nice in Castle for Valencia.
Busted class. Daniela Bichetti also says, edit. Also, I always knew Frosty was a man of culture, but now I see that he has ASMR videos on his recommended For You tab. What a god. Dude, this recommended For You tab is... I get baited, alright? I don't know what the fuck. It's so bad. I wish you could adjust it, or if you can, I don't know how. I don't even know, dude. There's some stuff in there that's just... It's terrible. Also, I have this guy Azur in Discord will rant. He'll say like, "Oh, guys, check this out. This is a really cool whatever," and you click it, and it's not at all what he said, and it links you to something horrible.
My stream yesterday requested Caramel Dance for 2 hours straight, so now my recommended videos is all fucked.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yesterday we were playing Terra for some reason. Don't judge us. And Sammy was like about to search something on how to do something on Terra. He's like, you know what? I don't want Terra videos being recommended to me. Fuck that. I don't actually partake in the ASMR watching, but I should. I don't know why that would be recommended to me. That sounds like I'm lying. I'm moving on. Sato says...
That sounds like I'm lying.
a bit of an off topic. I just reached 235 AP, 285 DP, and decided to try grinding Akhman while listening to the podcast. I was running around the desert for 45 minutes without a single Akhman portal. Finally got one. Every room is filled with people. Took another 45 minutes channel hopping to find a free spot. Bit of context, there's only 11 channels in SEA, excluding Olvia and Arsha, and they were all crowded when I was playing. Grinding just fine for around 30 minutes when a lag spike happened. Boom, -2 precision crystals. I blame third world country internet. 3K pre-order on precision at max price on SEA market. So now I'm listening to this while grinding centaurs for precision. That's so sad, dude.
So obviously every region's like customer support is going to be different, but I think you can get your crystals back if you actually like say there was a lag spike in the game and I lost crystals dying to a mob.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think every customer
hit or miss when that happens.
That's a North America EU thing, Rosar. All right, that's why we have to pray to the gods of cacao, because all they do is help us and benefit us in every way possible. Todd Thorson says, great idea, make block harder to regen. I mean, it's literally already one skill away to break it anyway. Would be great for archers and other long-range classes. Smiley face. True, probably would break the game. I mean, regenning
like
the block, regenning the block longer is, I don't think it wouldn't be that bad. I don't know. I mean, if you make blocks
It's also
stronger,
annoying to me that people are like ignoring the part where I said you would have to make the block like a lot stronger if you did that.
Yeah.
Like you can't break the block in 2 skills and then have it be like a longer regeneration period and be without it for a long time. Just like you can't have the block be, you can't increase the punishment of breaking a block or having your block broken rather, while also making you locked into a block while you're being hit. Like there are these several changes you would have to make if you were to do this. And I said this last episode, but people are just ignoring it, I guess. It's quite infuriating.
Yeah.
Well, you said one thing, and that's triggering.
Zappy says, I'm main Guardian right now, and I agree that she is strong, needs to get tuned down. My recommendation is reducing the damage or range of Dragon's Maw, that's Shift LMB. For the slow, removing it would be very harsh. Give it to a few skills would be fine. I'm just think of being slowed as a Guardian. I tested it with mates in BA. Being heavily slowed as Guardian, which happens often, makes your cleansing flame, Shift F, take 3.6 seconds to finish its animation, for example. That sounds like a buff to me. I'm not on board.
Yeah, that's 3.6 seconds of super armor, brother. What do you mean?
I'm not on board with higher cooldowns, except grab 12 second would be fine. There are way too many skills that are useless / deal no damage. Most duel matchups are just knowledge based if you know how to catch your opponent to win. For Guardian, for example, there are gaps to catch her and she's pretty easy to kite, but with every matchup it can be one-sided. This has nothing to do with Guardian. So one thing a friend of mine, Bear, had this idea, and he referenced it from a character in League of Legends that I forget the name of. Maybe something with a D, Darius, something. But he was saying, the AoE skill with range, like the huge, like far one.
Shift LMB.
Is that Shift LMB?
The one where it goes across the fucking map?
Yeah, the one that goes across the map. He was saying make that do its full damage at range, but when you see the skill starting up, if you're within the first circle of it, it does like greatly reduce damage. So it's almost like a strategic thing. So like that's one of those things where it hits hard from far, but doesn't hit you if you're right next to him, just for that one particular skill.
Greener says you're wrong. It's Shift F.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I thought it was Shift F. I think it's the one where you like spin and do 2 slashes, and it's like really far. I don't remember what Shift LMB is. Yeah, that one.
Shift LMB is the charge one where you charge up.
Oh,
and
the
then
charge. No, not the charge
shit
one.
out in front of you.
Yeah, the other one. The 2 spin slashes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Shift F.
I actually like that idea, because then that would be like if you're dueling with it, like let's say you're a Meiwa or a Musa, like in that moment where you see they're winding up the skill, if you're playing close, like you're at risk of grab, but you're not at risk of just dying standing up because that skill's more range, so they can use it as a range poke, but doesn't just kill you no matter where you are. I think it'd be kind of an interesting idea.
And someone in chat says as well, Ranger has a few sweet spots like that on awakened skills. There are several skills that function like this. Ancient Wave is also one of them. If you're too close or too far away, it does a lot of reduced damage. Gore Roll is also like this. If you're too close or too far away, it does a lot of reduced damage. So it really wouldn't be that hard of a function to implement, I wouldn't think.
Zappy also says, stay safe, boys. Markenho, sorry, I was having a hard time reading that. Markenho says, F in chat for the forgotten, unpredictable in the siege scene. Oh, I guess that's a guild. I've forgotten unpredictable in the siege scene. That's a guild, yeah. And then someone BM'd them and said, imagine losing members to Scuffed. Tristan,
dude, this Scuffed guild is all over our comments for some reason. I don't know what the hell. It's like the 3rd week in a row someone's brought up Scuff.
Tristan Crow says, can you guys get a tamer guest for the next podcast? Totally not a tamer main. We actually have not had a tamer on. I would love to have a tamer on. We gotta get in touch with someone.
Yeah, I think tamer I think Tamer might be the last class that we haven't had on yet, actually. Oh, Shy.
Tamer, Shy. I guess
I think that's it.
technically Kuno. You haven't brought a Kuno on.
Technically, but you're a Kuno, so I don't count that shit. The fuck? We don't need another Kuno on here spilling lies.
we haven't had a. I feel like there's something else.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Sure, anyway.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I think we've had everything. Maybe we haven't had everything except for Tamer.
I don't know. I don't know if you count Striker, because we did have fake uniform on, but we didn't really talk a lot about Striker in that episode, so I don't know if you count that or not.
And we had
that
CPCP.
Really wasn't like a Striker episode.
We had CPCP as well.
Oh, we did. But he was a Guardian at that time, so it was kind of like
2 half strikers make a whole striker guest.
Valk, we did have a Valk on. He was one of our very first guests. He was a really, really good Valk in our guild at the time. It's like episode 5 or something. It's like one of the first guests we had on.
West J Finn says, my class comment, the one about Warrior Zerg Striker E-Bus, was directly referencing you guys talking about Awakening Zerg in large scale and saying Warrior was tanky. That is why I used all Awakening examples. My reference to quality drop or not giving a damn was not directed to anyone specific, but everyone in a variety of topic. Hence my pre-warning not to take it personally. And I'm with you on not arguing with the 15-minute rant. Hist saying catching it early and someone internally let someone know they are ranting.
Just saying, I think.
Just saying catching it early and somehow internally let someone know they are ranting before it's long and drawn out. I'm just trying to draw attention to noticeable increase in this by all 3 hosts and even a couple guests. Yeah, I mean, Reslar and Nayashe haven't been pulling their weight, West J, and I'm with you on that.
I don't know. Rants are fine, in my opinion, honestly. I mean, this is again, to talk about something, I don't know if it was this commenter or somebody else said an episode or 2 episodes ago, but somebody was like, it should be more structured, and I just heavily disagree with that. I think part of the fun of what we do here is the fact that it is so free-flowing. We just kind of throw caution to the wind. We have a loose set of shit that we want to talk about, and we just kind of roll with it. And then if people go off on tangents or rants or whatever, then I think that's part of the ride, part of the journey. So I don't know. I disagree.
Eumenidai in chat says, I doubt anything brought in episodes 1 through 10 is still relevant nowadays. Just saying. And then someone said,
"Oh yeah, that's absolutely true."
Valk is still in a wheelchair.
Oh man.
West J
yeah,
says,
I mean you're not wrong. I mean, probably anything from episode, I would say probably 20 to 30, somewhere in that range back, is probably not relevant anymore. But I mean, that being said, we have brought on a Valk before. When we're talking about what classes we straight up haven't had on before, the fact is we have had a Valk on before, so we can't count that, even if it was episode 5.
All right, here we go. I'm getting excited. This is where Nayashe comes in to debate with our commenters. Anawari says,
hold on.
Yeah. Oh, the PS?
That he's on phone. So
he's on phone.
You're going to start while he's on the phone?
Oh, then it's going to be one-sided, which is even better. All right. So,
no, oh my God.
Clayton Alexander says, Maywas. I'm going to do it in the voice I feel like I see, or I at least would say. Maywas need protected damage. The amount of frontal guard Maywa can chain together is nearly permanent. I am a Musa and I also play Maywa. Not once have I ever felt like either need a grab or more protection. And then 0H says, so just Red Moon, which doesn't even do that much damage without the float. Try trading SA classes with that. And then he says, well, first of all, Red Moon, I have to say Zero's reply to this because Nayashe can't defend himself since he's on a phone. He says, well, first of all, Red Moon does a ton of damage. It's quite strong. That aside, you still have Frost Pillars and its flow, its Frontal Guard Rebam, all chained together with C-Swap and throwing in Frontal Guard Dragonbite in between, back into Red Moon, Frost Pillars again. At the time of this, also had Petal Bloom to throw in there, but still without it can almost infinitely chain Frontal Guard, and that's the thing, they are all Frontal Guards, not SA, meaning you can fully trade just fine. And then 0H says, have you played Maywa? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never been too worried about their frontal guard. I mean, they'll have way more protected damage now with the SA thing. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Nayashe, are you talking on your phone? What's happening?
Yeah, probably. It might be work or something.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's
Who
actually
knows?
on the phone. I thought you meant like he lost connection to his internet and he's talking to us through the phone.
No,
Okay,
he's
on
oh my
the phone.
God, you goddamn boomer! I swear to God.
All right. Well, to reply to you, Clayton, Nayashe would have said something along the lines of, Chase doesn't have enough stamina use, and their frontal guards are really strong and they do too much damage. And if Mewa got nerfed, he'd be fine with it. Ochacha says, huh? Long cooldowns. I used to main Guardian too, and long cooldowns is news to me. I think he's replying to a commenter last week that said Guardian had long cooldowns.
Yeah, I think that was news to everybody. I think everybody collectively went, wait, what?
Yeah. Laxton says, great episode, guys. As always, I think you should have more European streamers on the podcast more often to mix it up. Would be fun to hear what you guys think are the top 5 weakest classes overall that need some buffs, since clearly PA doesn't even play the game at all. Buff Stork several times in a few weeks. Also, can all Moose and Mewa stop complaining about grabs when all they do is chase around an SA and try to play Archer Ranger mode and sometimes go for the desyncing Dragon Bite? There is more to their kit than most use, and Chase is the ultimate grab counter skill in the game already-ish. No hard feelings, cough cough, nerf guardians and Sorks, cough. Yeah, we're gonna do a tier list coming up here soon, I believe, right, Russ?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get it done here soon. I'm lightly gonna aim to put it out sometime next week, probably. Not like this week. Like today, we're recording this on Sunday. It should be out on Monday, hopefully. God help. And it should be out next week, I think. I'm hoping. That's what I'm shooting for. So, we'll see.
Sarok963 says, please stop reading Musassin's comments. His horrific opinions are giving Musas a bad name. So far, the only representation that Musa has had on the show is Shaky Bay and some random guy that can't deal with grabs, sparking up the same debate at the end of every episode. Musa is fine, his stamina is fine, grabs are fine, although cooldown increase wouldn't hurt. A grab break mechanic would never work because that requires competent netcode, but an improved V is at least a realistic hope. As a Musa main, I used to think grabs were OP, I used to complain about them, I used to want their protections removed and ways to negate them, but then I spent several dozen more hours dueling in BA, and now grabs are a non-issue. The more I play Musa, the more I fall in love with his kit and his potential. TLDR, Awaken Musa just needs an E-buff that isn't a nerf and more accuracy. That's it. Stop complaining. I agree with Sark. Through and through. Clayton says, I dumped daily 4K Agris points in less than 15 minutes at Secrea. It's up before my first draft. Yeah, I think the intent is for like newer players, because I noticed like at Shira Ruins it lasted me like 30 minutes or something, or 45 minutes, and actually got me a ton of trash loot because the Shira mobs are worth like so little in comparison. The better money the spot, the less time Agris lasts for, basically. Mayo Knight says, I think we should at least give Musa and Mewa a chance to feel what it's like to be a grab class. Give them the old Valk Awakening treatment of giving them a T-Rex grab, then make Chase unprotected off cooldown and make pretty much all of their movement abilities unprotected or frontal guard only. I agree, dude. This is like my theory with or my suggestion with Chase on Global Labs. Remember, Rez?
Yep.
The Global Lab note should be add the word head in front of Chase for Musas and Mewas, and now they have head chase.
Yep. And now they get a grab with head chase.
Now they get a grab with head chase. Congrats, you're a top tier brain dead class that just has to press E. Good luck. He says, also, I agree, Frosty. Suck Valk is awesome. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Valk just because she was underpowered and took quite a bit more effort to succeed with for a while and has been kind of written off. But with her succession, I think she's quickly jumped back to being solid above average, middle of the pack class. Maybe even upper tier in the right hands, although certainly not mine. Yeah, I think she's... I think her succession is good. Her awakening probably still needs help, though. Alright, so Musassin has 5 comments and no TLDR. So I'm going to go with... grapple break should be for classes with grapple. if you have a grab, that one more tool in your kit over those that don't. I mean that it's not though in a lot of cases because they
No,
have.
dude, if you don't have a grab, you have 10 tools, and if you do have a grab, you have 11. That's how it works.
Yeah. So for the chase comment, so what is Musa good for then? I feel like Musa doesn't have anything that makes it different for other classes. I think, I mean, again, I still think it does. Like, Musa is such a wildly different playstyle than everyone else. So it is totally different. I don't know. For Zerker, if you start grabbing with the grabs with the highest cooldown to the lowest, wouldn't your first highest cooldown grab almost be not off cooldown by the time you use your lowest cooldown grab, depending on how the fight is going, Rez? Or just use your grabs in order of their cooldown length?
If there wasn't a 2 CC limit, yeah. But
no, I
there's
think
a
he
CC
means
limit,
I think he means
so...
grab attempts, like grab attempts.
Wait, what? No.
No. His point is the grab attempts. Like if you start grab, like you use your grab with the highest cooldown first, and then you still have your other 3 grabs available, then your highest cooldown grab will be off cooldown by the time you've attempted 4 grabs.
No.
That's what he said. I don't know. I don't want to talk about
who the hell is taking 40 seconds to use 4 skills? Hello?
I mean, you lava piercer, shoot a cannon shot, and then jump in and grab. You're basically a Musa with a grab. Let's see. I already bought my fossils, Garma skills, and rumbling earth shard. All right, so Jeremy Johnson says, you're correct, Frosty. After value pack expires, the fresh color scheme on your Megan Fox lookalike will default to a Megan Fox after her Transformers career.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Not
oh no! And then he adds more. The insults go on. Megan Fox after her Transformers career, bland and forgettable. Until you pony up again. When in doubt, money's what PA is about. I like the rhymes, dude.
I love how PA put out an advertisement using Megan Fox, and just nobody cared. It's just the weirdest thing, like ever.
Well,
it's just so strange.
We got a really cool meme video out of it, though. Do you remember? I think Phantom
maybe?
or Canoes made it or something, but it was that video where it shows Megan Fox in the beginning. It's like, video games is just a really good place to be a girl, and like you're safe and you can have fun and just enjoy yourself. And then it just cuts to like shot callers like, get the fuck over here, you son of a bitch, and then it like edits back.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that video is so good, dude. And then the order panda now, bitch. Yeah, that's on there. That's on that video too. Voodoo Medic says, sounds like people being salty. Oh wait, sorry. Jeremy also went on to say, and protected grabs shouldn't exist, in my opinion, unless they have 60-second cooldown and are unique class benefit. Once you go down this road, you end up with high damage protected range skills. This goes back to my previous comment last week. High risk / high reward. Got to be balanced, and if not, you end up with displeased consumer. This very issue is why classes get labeled as broken. Voodoo Medic says, sounds like people being salty that people got ahead. The game is progression game. People progress faster than others. Wah, omega lol. Alright, he's talking about the maps. I don't know how that could possibly be your legitimate take, unless you're like playing devil's advocate here. I mean, I didn't care that anyone got ahead. Like, I don't care that DeadGG had more gear than me a year ago by like 5 times. It was that he actually played the game to get the gear. That's the difference.
Yeah, like you actually like put in the time and the effort and stuff.
Nova replied saying, by using exploits. Here we go. Another person defending exploits and calling other people salty. Yeah, the whole like you're just jealous meme is so bad. That's like the worst take of all. It's like
I still think that it's not an exploit is the number one.
Well, that is, I mean, they go hand in hand, right? It's like, yeah, it's like, it's not an exploit. You're just saying it is because you're jealous. Like, that's, huh? I don't know. I'm not jealous. God damn it. So, Ziba says Guardian is
And it
very
sounds like you are. I don't know.
it sounds like it, but god damn it, I'm not, dude. I don't care that they have way more money and fail stacks than me. Guardian is very strong. If you don't have a grab, it's hard to win. You will lose every SA trade. Soulgate replies, yeah, and if your opponent has a grab or 3, then there's pretty much no contest, because Guardian will 100% lose. Kieran 2029 says C. Sebastian says partnership when? Yeah, Rez, when are we getting partner?
Good question.
And then
I said this the other day in your chat, but I don't know if you saw it. I said I can't wait for the day if you continue streaming where they're gonna talk to you about partnering your stream, but they're not gonna talk about the podcast at all. They're just gonna pretend like it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Is that what's gonna happen, dude? They're gonna reach out to me?
Dude, they've reached out to other people before, so it wouldn't surprise me. You know, you're already on their payroll. They know who you are. They know what you do, and they're like, "Oh shit, Frosty's streaming. Get that dude in partnership now."
Yeah. Maybe then we'll qualify to be on a competing podcast.
The partner podcast.
Yeah. And then Anfield finishes with "Thanks for having me." Yeah, it was awesome having you, Anfield. Anfield was cool, dude. He hosted me the other day, and I felt like I won the lotto, dude. I felt so cool. And yeah, that is that. That is the podcast for today. DeadGG, thanks again so much for coming on, hanging out with us. It was fun. If you want to drop some of your
Thanks for having me.
Your plugs, where do people find you?
Drop your shit. Where do they find you?
Twitch.tv/TheDeadGG.
Do you have a Discord or a Hangout, or just go to Twitch and they'll find it all there?
Just !Discord, and you can find the Discord in there as well.
Cool.
Now, are you just doing like stream title chopping down trees for 8 hours, or like killing wolves for 5? Just life skill.
It's pretty much what we're doing now for a while, but we'll be back to.
This
we'll be
isn't
back
the DeadGG I remember.
doing God's work soon enough.
Yeah. Oh, were you gonna ask something about the? Oh no, it was Nayashe. Nayashe's on the phone, dude. He wanted to ask something about when you like 1v10'd against Black Rose that one time, but I think he's not here to ask.
One time? There's definitely more than one time.
Yeah. Is there drama there?
I mean, there hasn't really been too much drama since I've been back, other than like Vodkin stream sniping me from literally my first hour back into the game. But Black Roses showed up a few times, but it's easy to ignore them.
What were you gonna say, Russ?
I was gonna say, I don't think we asked this question earlier today. Who do you think is like the best Lahn on the server, in your opinion? Don't be afraid to say yourself if that is what you think.
Yeah, like
no, I'm super rusty right now. I honestly don't know too many other Lahns that are playing on NA. Other than Cupcakes, pretty good from what I've seen, but I haven't seen too many other Lahns.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you recommend Lahn as a class?
If you want to have fun in the game and you don't mind people bitching about range grab or saying your class is shit otherwise, then yeah, absolutely.
All right. And with that, thanks everyone for listening to the podcast. Make sure you check out the stream, twitch.tv/SoFrosty. Nayashe's is twitch.tv/Nayashe_NA.
Underscore NA. There you go. You're getting it. You're getting it.
Check out the Value Pack Discord. It'll be in the YouTube. I think the Discord's in there. Our streams are in there. Make sure you check out DeadGG's stream. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Oh, like and upvote and Reddit and all that stuff. Is there an EU Nayashe? God, I hope not.